WCBI News at 10 starts now.
Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Quentin Smith. For the second time in the past few weeks, an immigrant child has died while in custody at the U.S. border. This now raises new concerns about immigration policy and conditions at Immigration and Customs Enforcement facilities. CBS's Anna Warner has the latest.
Customs and Border Protection said in a statement the 8-year-old Guatemalan boy was already in CBP custody yesterday when he became ill and was taken to a New Mexico hospital. He was initially diagnosed with a common cold, then a fever. He was released an hour and a half later with prescriptions for amoxicillin and ibuprofen. But later in the evening, the child exhibited nausea and vomiting and was transported back to the hospital, where he died shortly after midnight. The boy is the second child to die in CBP custody this month. A 7-year-old Guatemalan girl, Jacqueline Call, whose body was returned to her home village yesterday, died from extreme dehydration after she and her father crossed the border illegally. Officials say she didn't receive treatment for 90 minutes after she showed signs of illness.
Please rise. I'll begin by swearing you in.
Call's death has prompted a Homeland Security investigation and criticism of Secretary Kirstjen Nielsen when she appeared on Capitol Hill.
Sir, what I can tell you
I'm
is...
talking about people who have died in your custody. You don't have the number?
I will get back to you with the number.
Okay.
The Guatemalan Foreign Ministry says the boy and his father entered the U.S. last week and were taken to a New Mexico Border Patrol station on Sunday. With Congress out of session for the holiday, Democratic critics took to Twitter. Texas Representative Sheila Jackson Lee said this shocks the conscience. Texas Congresswoman-elect Veronica Escobar.
I mean, over the last few years, there have been literally hundreds of migrants who have died in U.S. custody. It is especially tragic when children die in our custody.
Officials have not released a cause of death. The hospital says it can't comment due to privacy concerns. Customs and Border Patrol did say there will be an independent and thorough review of the case. We asked ICE to respond to our questions today, but the agency said they're unable to respond to media queries during the government shutdown. Anna Warner, CBS News, New York.
Immigration and border security are at the heart of the now 4-day-long government shutdown. President Trump wants an extra $5 billion to build a border wall. However, some lawmakers disagree. The House passed the bill that included the wall spending, but the Senate passed an amended version that provides the necessary budget for immigration without the wall funding. The president says he will not sign a bill that does not include it. Congress heads back to Washington on Thursday. Well, it is now time to turn our attention over to weather. Chief Meteorologist Keith Gibson is standing by with a first look at our forecast. Keith?
Quentin, a live view in downtown Oxford with our MDOT camera. A little bit of fog showing up there in Lafayette County. Visibility reduced right there. Most spots not seeing any major problems, but there's a little bit of fog out there, and just slow down if you will be out and about. We've got temperatures in the 40s primarily, down into the low 40s tonight. Probably the worst case scenario. A lot of clouds out there, some fog, maybe a brief shower. That should be tonight. Your Wednesday, variably cloudy, a bit warmer, low 60s in many spots. Winds from the southeast at about 5 to 15 miles per hour. It was much warmer to our south today into the 70s, but we should be a little bit warmer around here tomorrow with those 60s. Rain comes back in here on Thursday, Quentin. More on that in just a few minutes.
The Mississippi Bureau of Investigation has issued a silver alert for 2 Rankin County residents. 56-year-old Jeffrey B. Sandlin and 79-year-old Patsy Sandlin of Pearl were last seen together last night around 6 o'clock near the Pearl Fire Station in Rankin County. Jeffrey Sandlin is a white man standing at 5'11", weighing 120 pounds. He has gray hair and blue eyes. Patsy Sandlin is also white, standing at 5'4", also weighing 120 pounds. She has short, curly gray hair and blue eyes. She was last seen wearing a long-sleeve maroon shirt and blue jeans. The Sandlins are believed to be in a 2003 Ford Sport Track truck with Rankin County plates, tag number RC6725. Family members say both Jeffrey and Patsy suffer medical conditions that may impair their judgment. If you know where they are at tonight, you're asked to contact the Pearl Police Department. Christmas Day gets off to a deadly start as a Lowndes County woman dies after a late-night incident. Lowndes County investigator Brent Swan says deputies responded to a shots fired call on Eileen Drive just before midnight on Monday. However, instead of finding a shooting victim, deputies found 32-year-old Deanna Clark pinned between a car and a tree. She was flown to a Jackson hospital and died earlier this morning. Lowndes County Coroner Greg Merchant says Clark lived at the home. Merchant says the preliminary cause of death is blunt force trauma. However, he also adds an autopsy will take place to provide more information. Right now, Lowndes County investigators are still trying to piece together the events that led up to this incident, but they do have a 29-year-old man in custody who was the alleged driver of the vehicle. Well, earlier this morning, while people all across the area were opening up Christmas gifts, police officers right here in Columbus were beginning their first shift of the day. Our Renee Skinner hit the streets to join them in a ride-along.
We're on the front line. We deal with a lot of things on a day-to-day basis. We see the best of people. We see the worst of people.
Crime doesn't stop just because it's the holiday season.
Southbound, 45 north.
Which means the men and women in blue are out patrolling.
There's no such thing as a routine traffic stop.
Officer Raymond Hackler started his shift at 8 a.m. Tuesday.
This is it's a medium-sized beat. It's a fairly sized area.
Assigned to the East Columbus beat. Right now, we're riding around neighborhoods and back streets near Highway 69.
657, 44.
Before long, activity on the scanner. A brief police chase
North color, southbound.
that didn't require Officer Raymond to respond, but his ears are always on the shortwaves.
Always important for officers to get there, to get the information and where they're at, when they're dealing with stuff like that, and also to get the vehicle speed, because that kind of gives us an idea as to how fast this person's going.
Another listening tool he values as an officer: the people.
The citizens that are out here in these neighborhoods, they're your eyes and ears. If you ever really want to know what's going on in the community, get out of the car, go out and talk to people, touch bases with them, get to know them, and they'll tell you a lot of things that you had no idea that was going on.
Community policing and getting to know the businesses that make up the area comes with the job.
I'm just going to run in here real quick and check on them.
We stopped at this Chevron gas station during the ride.
They really do appreciate on the holidays when you come in and check, just pop in real quick, say, hey, how's everything going? Just checking on you guys. Hopefully everything goes smooth today. If you need anything, let us know.
Hackler says a police pop-up at a local business helps ward off any suspicious activity.
They like that, that personal police.
Towards the end of my ride, another personal touch. A handshake from a resident.
You're Hannah?
Thanking officers for keeping a watchful eye.
As many people that are out there that say, maybe some not so nice things about, police officer, law enforcement in general.
Reaffirming a job well done.
There's just as many people out there that do believe in you. And to me, that's worth it.
And a passion for the patrol.
That was our Renee Skinner reporting there. Officer Hackler has over 25 years of experience in law enforcement. Well, by now, all of the gifts have been passed out, and everything from flat screens to firearms have found new homes. And now the task is keeping them. Calhoun County Sheriff Greg Pollen says one of the first things people should do is take pictures and make notes about their new big-ticket items, just in case someone tries to come in and steal them away.
Write those serial numbers down, because if you're unfortunately a victim of a crime, sometimes it's very little that we can do to trace it. We can't enter weapons or anything like that on NCIC if we don't have the serial number, and you'd be surprised how many people don't. So we strongly encourage that. I mean, it takes a few minutes. Make you a list, hide it, put it in your safe, put it in your lockbox at the bank, and update it periodically.
Investigators also recommend not advertising any new gadgets on social media. They also say not to put boxes outside your home that can show thieves all of the new things that are inside.
Well, outside in our area right now, we have decent visibility in Vernon, Tupelo, Columbus, Louisville, Mississippi right there. We do envision some slightly warmer temperatures tomorrow, rain and storms on Thursday. Overall unsettled as we close out the year. Details are next.
Your WCBI First Alert AccuWeather forecast with Chief Meteorologist Keith Gibson.
Let's talk about our Wednesday. Hopefully more sunshine overall around here than what we had today. We start out in the 40s, 50s, and 60s around the area as we get into the afternoon. A little bit cooler across the northern tier, north of Tupelo, maybe only the upper 50s. Farther south, more in the way of low to maybe mid-60s. We were much warmer down here today relative to the north. Probably the same story tomorrow, but in general, all of us should start to warm things up with a southeast wind 5 to 15, and we'll thin out those clouds just a little bit. As we mentioned earlier, down south today around 70 or in the low 70s, and still warmer down there for our Wednesday. Travel's looking pretty good across our region though for tomorrow. If you're trying to get out of town or if you know people coming on in, no major concerns. That was our time lapse from Columbus today. Clouds prevalent here, more clouds coming on in from the southwest, and there are some showers down there towards Jackson. Can't rule out an isolated shower tonight or tomorrow morning. The next best chance for rain is coming Thursday because of that system way out there in the desert southwest. That thing is a pretty powerful storm system, and it will continue to strengthen here. And for us, we will have southwesterly flow aloft for the end of the week and really for the rest of the year, and that is why we have just about a daily chance for at least some rain somewhere close to us. Now, tonight and tomorrow morning, there are those isolated showers that could creep into parts of the area, but we should wake up to a lot of cloud cover on Wednesday. Let's hope we can thin things out just a little bit. Futurecast picking up on some moisture that will likely stay in the clouds tomorrow afternoon. Now, tomorrow night and Thursday morning, right there, we may see some showers. And then Thursday morning, late into the afternoon and evening, a bigger batch of rain and maybe some gusty storms will roll on in from the west. We'll be watching out for that possibility on Thursday. Widespread severe weather is probably unlikely with this setup. Heavy rainfall, yes, and some strong gusty wind possible. The tornado threat, the hail threat, pretty low. We'll continue to update that over the next 24 hours. The most unstable air is likely going to remain in central and southern Mississippi on Thursday, and that's where the best chance for more widespread strong storms would be, but we're close, so we'll watch it. Some heavier rain, though, I mentioned about a ½ inch to maybe 3 inches or more with that system coming our way for Thursday. Here's your AccuWeather 7-day forecast. Breezy overall Thursday with that heavy rain threat. Still some lingering showers on Friday morning and just some downright unsettled weather as we get into Saturday, Sunday, and early next week with a daily chance for some rain.
Medical professionals and police want to make sure holiday celebrations don't spill over onto the highways. We have some tips when we come back. Welcome back. The Christmas and New Year's holidays often see an increase in the number of people on the road and the number of drivers having a little too much to drink before taking the wheel. In tonight's Health Talk with Baptist, we learn more about the dangers of drinking and driving.
Hi, I'm Lee Richardson, a physician in the emergency room at Baptist Memorial Hospital, Golden Triangle. Tonight I want to discuss the dangers of drinking and driving. Drunk driving is a serious problem in the United States. Getting behind the wheel of any motorized vehicle after consuming alcohol is a serious crime. According to the CDC, there is a drunk driving related death every 51 minutes in the United States. Driving under the influence involves operating a vehicle with a blood alcohol level of at least 0.08%. However, even a small amount of alcohol can lead to harmful situations. It takes about 30 minutes to 2 hours for alcohol to be absorbed into your bloodstream. During this time, your breathing may slow down and your cognitive skills may be delayed. Because of this, it is always dangerous to drink and drive. Any amount of alcohol in your bloodstream can affect your driving ability. Here are the main ways that alcohol impairs your driving skills. Slows reaction time. Alcohol affects how quickly you're able to respond to different situations, such as someone slamming on their brakes suddenly in front of you. Reduces coordination. Drinking affects motor skills such as eye, hand, and foot coordination, so you may not be able to avoid an impending harmful situation. Reduces concentration. Alcohol, no matter the amount, dramatically reduces your attention span, making it harder to control your speed, traffic signals, and staying in the correct lane. Inhibits judgment. Alcohol can affect your ability to foresee potential problems and make clear decisions. Join us next time for a Health Talk with Baptist, when we will discuss the dangers of distracted driving.
Mail your topic suggestions to healthtalk@wcbi.com. Health Talk has been brought to you by Baptist Memorial Hospital Golden Triangle.
To help cut down on those drinking and driving accidents, law enforcement throughout the region will step up their patrols through New Year's. The extra enforcement is part of the federal Drive Sober or Get Pulled Over campaign. It's an initiative that provides grant money for departments to pay overtime for extra officers and those who are manning safety checkpoints. Police hope the knowledge of extra law enforcement officers will help motorists make smart decisions.
They know there's going to be a lot of people out doing extra enforcement. If they know they're going to be drinking and driving, they'll get designated drivers, taxis, Ubers, or something. And it gets a lot of impaired drivers off the road. Safety checkpoints were first ruled constitutional by the U.S. Supreme Court back in 1990. Preparations are already underway for the Crimson Tide as they ready themselves for the Orange Bowl. More on that coming up next in sports.
WCBI Sports with Courtney Robb.
Well, maybe Christmas today. The Alabama football team held their holiday celebrations a little bit earlier this year. In preparations for the Orange Bowl, the Crimson Tide already practicing in Miami, preparing for number 4 Oklahoma. Quarterback Tua Tagovailoa joined in on practice as his ankle injury reportedly continues to improve. Something of note, 3 Alabama players did not make the trip and will not be participating in the playoff game. Head coach Nick Saban releasing a statement saying that redshirt sophomore offensive linemen Deontay Brown and Elliott Baker, along with sophomore tight end Kedrick James, have been suspended due to a violation of team rules and policies. The Orange Bowl kicks off at 7 p.m. on Saturday, December 29th.
We just moved up Christmas a little bit, watched the grandkids sort of open presents, and you know, our players all got to go home for a few days. So I think we're here now ready to get refocused on, you know, having the opportunity to play in a playoff game against a, you know, outstanding Oklahoma team that presents a lot of challenges.
I really just had someone there to just treat it. Other than that, just rested. And at this point, we're doing a lot better. I got to move yesterday. You know, got to get a feel of it before we come out today's practice. Feels pretty good.
Offense is explosive. Their offense got a great offense, a great leader in the quarterback, and Kyler, a very good quarterback. So stopping that offense on all scales is going to be challenging, but we're going to have to go watch film on it.
Well, speaking of bowl games, there's still some time left before Mississippi State faces off against Iowa in the Outback Bowl. But it's been a minute since we've seen what this Bulldog team can really do. So as a quick refresh, here's a look back at the top 5 best plays and moments from Mississippi State's 2018 season. Starting things off at number 5, early on in the season against Louisiana, Nick Fitzgerald throwing a beauty to Kylan Hill. They'd get the touchdown, and the Bulldogs would start the season off hot with a 3-0 start. Number 4, Fitzgerald is going to be on the QB keeper, using his legs this time to find an opening. And to seal the deal, they'd go on to upset number 8, Auburn. The Bulldogs would get their first SEC win of the season. It would also be their first ranked win of the season as well. Number 3, Fitzgerald with the bomb, this time to Justin Johnson on Senior Day, nonetheless, against Arkansas. They'd finish out the season with a nice 8-4 record. Number 2, ladies and gents, can't forget about the Egg Bowl. Fitz on the handoff to Hill. He's going to bulldoze his way on through the Land Shark defense for the touchdown. And the Golden Egg would be returned to Starkville. Number 1, and it's a personal favorite of mine, a perfect finishing play for Fitzgerald. Has plenty of room to go, gets a touchdown for the Dogs here. They'd go on to upset number 16 Texas A&M and slotted Mississippi State back in the national polls, ranked at number 21. Well, Christmas Day, or as basketball fans call it, NBA Day, a festive James Harden and the Rockets hosted OKC. Harden missing the layup, but Clint Capella there for the second chance bucket. And these two make quite a pair. Harden to Capella for the layup. They'd also get the foul, and we'll get another look at that nice pass through the legs and then the putback by Capella. The Rockets would be trailing the Thunder by a couple of points, 16-11. And then Harden, he's going to look like he bumps knees with Steven Adams. A little bit painful, but doesn't look comfortable. The lack of comfort there doesn't stop the man. He's going to go on. He's going to be on the outside after shaking off that pain. Going to jump back and hit the three from there. It would be tied up at 22. The Thunder would end up going into halftime with an 8-point lead, but the Rockets wrap it up and put a bow on it by the end. Houston will get the win in this game today, the final 113-109. A great day for sports. We've got plenty of bowl games coming up this weekend and playoff games for college football, but that's going to be it for sports. We'll have the last look at your forecast after the break.
It was a full house today as volunteers at Loaves and Fishes right here in Columbus served up Christmas lunch and a little bit of fellowship to their neighbors in need. Now, last year, organizers say they only fed a small group, but that's because not a lot of people knew their doors would be open on Christmas. However, this year, word traveled fast. Organizers expected to feed over 150 people during their lunch rush.
Weather-wise, we are looking at some slightly warmer temperatures tomorrow, hopefully back into the low 60s. Heavy rain, some gusty storms possible on Thursday. Breezy overall, we're still in the 60s. And then some cooler 50s for Saturday, Sunday, and the end of 2018. Look at that, 2019, a week from today, Quentin.
Just 7 days away. Isn't it crazy how fast the new
where
year,
did
2018
the year go?
Came and it went.
And it is almost gone.
And I got to say, today was a wonderful Christmas holiday.
Not bad.
There you go. Have a good night, everyone.